NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Ford Motor Company, building tomorrow's cars today. And by Sperry, we understand how important it is to listen.
From Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, CBS Sports presents the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with George Allen. And let it be duly noted that George Allen teams have beaten Tom Landry teams more time than vice versa. So what about the 49ers? Do they stand any kind of a chance at all?
Vinny, I think they do. The 49ers are an improved football team. Dallas can't take them lightly. If Dallas comes out here and thinks they have an easy game, starts making mistakes, the 49ers could upset them. The 49ers are going to have to throw the football, I think, to win or have a chance. It'll be interesting to see, Vinny, how the 49ers use O.J. Simpson today. I think if they screen to him, draw to him, throw to him, and not overuse him, he could be a factor.
All right, let's go down to the field and find out about the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. For the Niners, they won the toss and elected to receive. So Rafael Septien, numero uno, for Dallas will be kicking off. The Cowboys coming in here after getting a scare in St. Louis, and of course San Francisco coming in here after losing a heartbreaker to Minnesota. So Septien has teed it up on the 35, and the deep men for San Francisco, Linville Elliott, number 35, James Owens, number 20, and we're about ready to lock in. Septien kicking it down to the 5-yard line. James Owens actually taking it on the 3, and the kid from UCLA is across the 20 to the 22-yard line, where the Niners will put it in play, 1st and 10. Let's take a look at the 49er backfield with the quarterback Steve DeBerg. O.J. has returned. He hasn't played since November 5th last year, and the running back Mike Hogan, who had a pretty good day last week. Mike Schumann, along with Freddie Solomon and Paul Seal, the tight end. Seal starting in place of McAfee. And here come the Niners, 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. DeBerg over Fred Quill in the center. Rolling right with Hogan on the other end of the pass, and he's at the 35 to the 40. Cliff Harris can't quite hold on to him, and Benny Barnes has to knock him out of bounds for a 1st down at about the San Francisco 47-yard line.
Well, this is a good opening call. We call that a waggle pass. The backs go one way, the quarterback goes the other. Dallas was fooled and blew their coverage. Hogan is a hard runner, strong runner, makes people break tackles. A big play to open the ball game.
George, you said that the only way the Niners could play would be to pass, and they've started right off. So 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 47-yard line. Schumann is wide right. O.J. is the deep man behind Hogan, and here comes O.J. inside a Farnhorst block, and he gets across the 45-yard line. Keith Farnhorst, number 71, made the play work.
On this play, they lined up in an I formation with O.J. at tailback and pitched it out and let him run wide. He's better running wide than inside at this stage. He's kind of feeling his way. That's his first carry since November of last year. He's carrying the ball a little bit loosely.
So it is 2nd and 3, a pickup of 7. The 49ers started on their own 21, and they have moved it to the Dallas 45. And it's Hogan and O.J. Schumann is wide right, Solomon left, and Hogan running into a gang of people, and primarily as he falls down shy of the 40-yard line. Bob Brunig, the middle linebacker, coming up to make the initial contact.
Now this is a slant play with O.J. attempting to block the linebacker. This type of a play isn't going to be too successful against the Dallas defense.
It was enough, however, to pick up the 1st down. So the 49ers have it 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Freddie Solomon wide left, Schumann wide right. Clark is in there on a wingback position, and DeBerg low over the middle to Schumann. He's to the 35 and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And the 49ers are putting it up, and they're moving, George.
We call this pass a China pass. It's an underneath delayed pattern where the wide receiver lets the backs clear out, and then he comes underneath. Again, this is a pass that's stopped by the linebackers. The linebackers had their backs turned, didn't see the play develop.
So DeBerg picking up his yardage by huge chunks from the 21-yard line to the Dallas 30 now. Schumann again wide right. Paul Seal, the tight end, is on the right side, and Solomon hooks up on the line of scrimmage. Hogan in motion to the left, a draw to O.J. He has nowhere to go, but he gets a block from Hogan and gets out of bounds at the 25. Mike Hogan had to come back to help him out.
Mike Hogan made a good block there, Vinny, and this is a good play. We said screens and draws with O.J. would be good. Now watch Hogan come back in, put a pretty good block on, allowed him to pick up a few yards. He's still carrying that ball loosely.
And it would appear as if he's carrying it in the wrong arm because he doesn't have his body to protect the ball. There you can see the linebackers, Hegman, Brunig, and Lewis. Hegman playing for Thomas Henderson, at least at the outset. Barnes, Kyle, Hughes, and Harris in the secondary. 2nd and 5 on the 25 of Dallas. DeBerg has him on the move. In motion goes O.J. DeBerg looking right, going down high to Schumann, and he makes the catch at the 15-yard line. And Benny Barnes had to knock him down, and they are punching holes in the Dallas secondary.
Benny, Dallas doesn't look like they're ready to play. They're a little bit sluggish. There's no pass rush here. They sent O.J. in motion. A nice hook pattern, safe pass, intermediate type of pass to throw. DeBerg is throwing the short passes, intermediate passes.
And, of course, Tom Landry watching the 49ers work particularly on Hegman and Barnes' side, which would be the Dallas left side. So it is 1st and 10 from the Cowboy 15. DeBerg with backs flaring and the pass to Hogan, and he gets away from D.D. Lewis, but did not quite get back to the line of scrimmage. D.D. missed him, but did slow him up. Larry Cole finally bringing him down.
When Hogan was with the Philadelphia Eagles, we made a little study on him, and very seldom did the first man bring him down. Here's an example. He's always getting 2 or 3 yards with second effort and hard, strong running.
Hogan, by the way, was 17th in the NFC last year. But, and this is the key, he made 41 first downs on the ground. He gets the tough yards for you. 2nd and 11 from the 16. Here comes O.J. Inside, a block by John Ayers, and he's brought down by Brunig at the 11-yard line. And it was John Ayers, number 68, who threw the key block.
Again, the I formation, flipping the ball to the tailback. O.J. getting him outside. O.J. is about a step or a half a step slow from breaking. He changed the ball to his left arm that time, which is a good thing to do, and tried to stiff arm.
O.J. coming out now to get a breather. So in the backfield, Lenville Elliott, number 35, is running with Mike Hogan. Schumann is wide right, and Brewer, normally a tight end, is shaken loose wide left. DeBerg is looking into the corner. No good. Intended for Lenville Elliott, number 35, and he led him by maybe a half a step too much.
Well, he was wide open, Vinny. He had a touchdown there. The ball was... Watch DeBerg go back. He wants to hit the backs. Elliott is open on this, but he overthrew him just a little bit. Look at that. The ball had to be thrown on the line, so Elliott didn't have a chance to adjust to it.
Henderson had no chance. Cliff Harris tried to come over and correct. It still didn't help, but the pass was long. So the spot by Joe Montana will be on the 20-yard line. It's a 30-yard field goal attempt by Ray Wersching, and this is his distance. He's usually deadly from here, and he's through the upright. Ray Wersching has now kicked 4 out of 5 this year for the Niners. San Francisco 3, Dallas nothing. So the San Francisco 49ers started on their own 21, and in 10 plays, they get a 30-yard field goal from Ray Wersching. They're on the boards, and they're leading Dallas 3-0. Combination, perhaps, of some accurate DeBerg passes, and as George Allen pointed out, Dallas perhaps a little sluggish in getting started. Deep for Dallas, number 20, Ron Springs, number 22, up in the right-hand corner, Wade Manning.
22 wearing Bob Hayes' uniform over there.
That's a big number to live up to.
It sure is.
There it is. Wade Manning, who had a 47-yard kickoff return last week. That was a big one. But this is Springs from the 3 to the 20. Missed by Owens. Gray can't get him, and he runs out of bounds. And we'll see they'll spot it at the 33-yard line. Both Owens and Gray unable to bring him down. Take a look at Dallas. He's had a tender elbow, and he didn't touch a football until he warmed up before the game. Roger Staubach. Returning into the starting lineup, bad toe and all, Tony Dorsett. And Scott Laidlaw, who had been banged up with a left hamstring, is back in for Newhouse and Brinson. Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, and Billy Joe Dupree. And now here come the Pokes. 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. Staubach has Dorsett at halfback and Laidlaw the fullback. In motion is Drew Pearson. Second man is Dorsett. And he takes a lick, and a hard one. Coming up was Tony Dungy, number 27. Dungy, a free agent out of Pittsburgh, giving Dorsett a high chop. Take a look at the defense, but look at 27 especially. He'll get his lick in on Dorsett.
Well, they ended up in an I formation with motion, giving the ball to Dorsett, which is a good running set and his best set to carry the football.
So Tony Dungy, only 6, 188, 3-year man out of Minnesota. 2nd and 6 for the Pokes. Dorsett with Rafferty putting a good block on Harper, and Dorsett getting out, and it was a key block that time by Rafferty. So the unsung heroes, the offensive lineman, and Tom Rafferty, number 64, threw that block on right side linebacker Willie Harper to make the play go, and it's 1st and 10 for Dallas, the ball on their own 44-yard line. Let's take a look at San Francisco. Reese, Vincent, Webb, and Hardman. Vincent is a newcomer. They just picked him up from Cincinnati. They have Scott Hilton along with Dan Bunz and Willie Harper. Harper's banged up, but he's playing. Secondary, they have a meeting just to meet each other. Morgan, Lewis, Gray, and Dungy. Gray coming over from Kansas City. Dungy coming from Pittsburgh. And an old friend of George Allen's, Gerard Williams, has just joined San Francisco. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of the telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 44. Dorsett on a wing. Now comes back with Laidlaw. Hill wide left, Pearson right. Play action fake to Dorsett, and Staubach, a high pass to Dupree, chased by Scott Hilton, and down he goes as Dungy came over to help Hilton on the San Francisco 40-yard line.
Well, this is a fine call by Roger. Play action pass with Dupree coming underneath. Real tough to cover. Your linebackers have to buzz and be in a position to break that up. This is an interesting series here, because if the 49ers defense can't hold up today and stop Dallas's offense, they aren't going to have a chance. And the way Dallas is moving down the field after that spirited drive by the 49ers offense takes away some of the achievements.
Doug Crosby, a tight end in there, number 84 now, along with Dupree. And it's still Dorsett and Laidlaw. Pitch back to Laidlaw with Dorsett blocking. Dan Bunz and Willie Harper, the linebackers, along with the ever-present Tony Dungy up there to make the hit. But they've moved it inside the 35. What is it about Roger Staubach that makes him the great player that he is,
well,
Coach?
Vinny, we used to have a running battle going all the time. Our number one goal was to contain Staubach when we defense Dallas. Contain him, mix our coverages, shift, disguise our defenses, try to dictate to him. But he's a competitor. He plays with bumps and bruises. He's a great quarterback.
He's never thrown an interception against San Francisco. 76 and now 78 passes. Saldi is in motion, the tight end to the left side, and here comes Laidlaw. Ran around Hardman. Flags on the play, however, and he is smothered at the 30-yard line, but will wait on the call. The referee is Jerry Seaman, the umpire Frank Sinkwitz, and we'll get the call from Jerry Seaman in a moment. And you can see a legal procedure against Dallas. So the rule book will slow up the Cowboys, at least for the moment.
The last game that I saw Dallas play in person, Laidlaw had over 100 yards Thanksgiving Day against the Redskins.
He's had 2 knee operations, has Scott Laidlaw, bruised ribs. He's had a hamstring. He replaced Newhouse last year and scored 7 touchdowns in 6 games. And he is coming back after a pretty severely pulled left hamstring. That's Scott Laidlaw out of Stanford. And now here's the official call.
Illegal shift, number 88, offense.
That would be Drew Pearson, who was illegally shifting. And Tom Landry checking his charts. It is 3-0 San Francisco on a 30-yard Ray Wersching field goal, but the 49ers have it 2nd and 10 on the San Francisco 38. Pitch back to Dorsett with Laidlaw trying to block for him, and he goes nowhere. So Dallas trying to keep a drive going that started on their own 34.
The 49ers played that the way you want to play it on defense. 59, Willie Harper strung the play out if we can see him. See that? Look at it. He's got both blockers. He's handling both blockers. He's keeping his feet moving. Look at that. Beautiful. And turned it in, and now your pursuit makes the play. That's picture defense.
Willie Harper has been banged up, but he made a marvelous defensive play. 3rd and 7 on the San Francisco 35-yard line. And now Preston Pearson is in there. Out of the shotgun comes Staubach, looking deep and going long to Dupree. No good. Dupree was looking for that pass over his left shoulder, and it wound up over his right.
Well, shotgun formation. First of all, Staubach had good protection. Dupree is open. He's looking to his left rather than his right. Could have had a big play there.
So he looked left, then when he looked right, it was too late, and Danny White coming in. White, 2 for 5 in punts against St. Louis. His longest was 43, and the longest in last year, he kicked 156. So deep for 49ers would be Freddie Solomon and Tom Dungy. And Danny White out of Arizona State, 3rd-round draft choice, will be kicking from the San Francisco 46-yard line, angling to the right side, and Solomon will let it go, and we'll see where they mark it.
Good kick.
It looks like they're going to mark it at the 6-yard line. So San Francisco deep in its own territory, leading 3-0. We have 7 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen from Candlestick Park, where the 49ers on a 29-yard field goal by Ray Wersching are leading Dallas 3-0. However, after a good punt by Danny White, the Niners take over 1st and 10 on their own 6-yard line. And James Owens, a burner, is coming in now as a wide receiver. In the backfield, they have Phil Francis and Lenville Elliott. Owens in motion. Second man is Lenville Elliott. And he's just shy of the 10-yard line. Benny Barnes coming up to make the tackle.
Well, they used 20 Owens as a decoy, set him in motion, changed the strength of the formation, and ran the other way.
Steve DeBerg, should keep in mind, was particularly ineffective on 3rd down passes last year. He completed just 35% of 3rd down passes. So if he gets into that spot, we'll see what kind of a marked improvement he might have after getting last year under his belt. He started 11 games for the 49ers, but he had only 1 win while he was in there. 2nd and 6 from the 9. O.J. slipped and still fought for a couple of yards. I think he hit at the right side of the pitching mound here at Candlestick and slipped. Watch.
Well, it's hard to tell there. Still running from the I formation. This time they went up the gut inside. They had 2 tight ends in that place. They had Seals and Brewer.
3rd down and 3 for San Francisco. 6:20 left to go in the first. Phil Francis at fullback, O.J. the halfback, the deep man. DeBerg rolling and looking down the right side, high and almost intercepted by Randy Hughes as he was fighting a tight end, Paul Seal, but he couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, here's a partial rollout. It's designed as a pass. He's trying to hit number 85, and he was jammed. Ball should have been intercepted. Nice play.
Randy Hughes, of course, taking over for one of the great ones, the injured Charlie Waters. So it is 4th and 2 from the 13. Dan Melville, you see that average? It was best in the NFL last week. Just a rookie. Melville out of California, so he knows the territory. Bad pass, low kick, and he barely got it away. Steve Wilson was there to get in on it, and the return by Tony Hill. He'll go down inside the 40-yard line.
Well,
Steve Wilson, number 81. who was cut by Dallas and then came back.
Well,
came in on that smothering pass.
bad snap. Lucky the ball wasn't blocked. Everything starts with a snap.
And there's a flag on the play. So evidently it will go against Dallas on the return by Tony Hill. Here's the bad snap from center. Fred Quillen, the center. Here comes Wilson from the left. And Wilson is spun on his
Personal
numbers.
foul, clipping, number 34, receiving team.
So number 34 would be Aaron Mitchell, who's a rookie. And he is guilty of the infraction with 5:55 to go in the first quarter. San Francisco 3 and Dallas nothing. The Cardinals defeated the Giants 27-14 in a thriller. Washington and Detroit. Washington winning it 27-24. Another final, New Orleans Green Bay. Green Bay coming from behind to win it 28-19. Minnesota and Chicago 26-7 Bears. Walter Payton carried for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, look at that, New England 56-3 over the hapless Jets. Meanwhile, Staubach is going wide right to his big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, who is knocked out of bounds. Coming over is Charles Cornelius, and looking on, a great tight end, George, Mike Ditka.
Yeah, I signed Mike to his first contract. He's doing a fine job coaching. I think he's an excellent prospect for a head coaching job.
The reason you saw Ditka put his hand to his face, there'll be a penalty against Dallas. We'll duck in more. Buffalo not only defeated Cincinnati 51-24, Roland Hook scored 4 touchdowns for Buffalo.
Holding, number 67, offense.
So a holding penalty against Pat Donovan. So 2 penalties have hurt the Pokes
That
here.
really used to upset me. When we had field position and one of our players committed a foul, I got all over him.
You want to shoot him, huh?
Jay.
So it is 1st and 20 on the Dallas 35-yard line. Dorsett is the tailback behind Laidlaw. Drew Pearson wide right. Dorsett is going to be eaten up by number 75, Ted Vincent, who is a former Bengal, just picked up. Vincent able to slide off the block by Tom Rafferty.
You know, most of the good plays on defense, it's interesting, the man isn't blocked. Nobody really blocked Vincent on that play. He moved well, read his key, and made the tackle.
So now Ted Vincent, who was in there strictly to put some heat on Staubach, does just that to Dorsett, and it's 2nd and 25 from the 30. Hill is wide right, Drew Pearson wide left. Staubach over the middle, and he's got Tony Hill. Bunge and Johnson able to make the hit.
Denny, I can tell you right now, the way this game's going to go, unless the 49ers put more pressure on Roger, he's going to eat him up. You can't give him that much time to throw with the receivers that they have.
When you realize that young Tommy Kramer exploited the San Francisco defensive secondary in particular, well, you almost shudder at what Staubach
I think
did.
what we can look forward to is some dogs. Come after him with some dogs to give him a little rush.
3rd and 7 on the Dallas 48-yard line. Hill goes right. Dupree is shaken loose in a slot left inside Pearson. Preston Pearson is in there now, and the pass is to Preston Pearson, and he's inside the 40 and hog-tied down at about the 37 by Gerard Williams and Willie Harper. And Williams, a newcomer, just joined the 49ers.
I think Williams is going to help the 49ers. Again, look at the time Roger has to throw.
And remember, Dallas had a 2nd and 25, and they've able to move it 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 37. So it would appear outside of those 2 penalties, they can almost move at will. 1st and 10 on the 37. Staubach to Laidlaw. Scott stumbled, and the play couldn't go.
Nice
Herbert
play.
Scott fell down.
Also a nice play by Gerard Williams. The right corner, watch him come up and fill like he should. Watch him come right up here. There he is. putting his shoulder in, making a tackle.
And had Scott, the pulling guard, been able to stay on his feet, he might have been able to throw the block on Gerard Williams, but once he stumbled and fell down, the door was open for the 4-year man from Langston to come up and make the tackle.
Williams is better on the left corner than the right corner. He's played most of his football on the left side.
And that's just where he's going right now. It is 2nd and 9 from the 36 of San Francisco. Play action fake to Dorsett. And Staubach deep down the middle, and no good. Charles Cornelius had his hands on it, and the 3-year man out of Bethune-Cookman couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, you know, sometimes you can have too much time to throw. That sounds strange, but Roger has all day to throw. And he was very forced he didn't throw an interception there.
If Cornelius had held on to that ball, he would have had an open alley, and he can run. He's been known to do the 40 and 4.5. So Staubach's calling a 3rd and 9 play from the San Francisco 36. 49 is leading 3-0.
Here's where you get the first down. Get the first down with a stop pattern or hit your tight end on a crossing pattern.
Staubach from the shotgun with Preston Pearson blocking, and it's to Hill, no good, with Gerard Williams picking up Tony Hill.
Well, he went for the big play rather than getting the first down. I like to get the first down, 9-10 yards. The big plays will come later.
So in other words, really, you second-guess Staubach's call.
Yes, I think that to try to get it all in one play, unless it's a broken pattern there.
So Dallas first stymied by 2 penalties, a clip and a holding penalty. Still got a drive underway, only to have it fizzle out on the 36, and Danny White will be kicking to Freddie Solomon, number 88, Tony Dungy, number 27. Danny White with a 39-yard average against St. Louis last week. And he had to punt 5 times. Almost blocked, and a flag. Eddie Lewis. It is Eddie Lewis who was the big flaw in San Francisco last week.
Stupidity. First of all, you're never going to block the ball going in the way he did. He went, watch him. He goes right into the kicker. You block the ball by getting out in front here. Laying out in front. That's how you lose football games.
And, of course, Eddie Lewis was burned twice last week by Ahmad Rashad, and now he commits a guilty play here just when the 49ers were ready to take over the ball.
You can't give a good football team like Dallas breaks like that and give them field position.
He's a 2nd-round draft choice out of Kansas, and he's looking for a hole right now because there was no doubt about the infraction, and now the Cowboys lick their chops.
Number 22, defense.
And they didn't even have the block on along with it. Stupidity.
And, of course, Bill Walsh would agree with you completely, Coach, because now a fired-up Dallas team has it 1st and 10 on their own 32. Drew Pearson wide left. Dupree, the tight end, on the left side. 2nd man, Dorsett, looking for a place to hide. And it's on the ground. Archie Reese, who is 6'3", was there to head him off at the pass and turn him inside.
You know, when we played Dallas, Vinny, we felt that we had a goal with Tony Dorsett. We didn't want him to have a run over 9 yards. That's the longest run we'd give him is 9 yards. That was our goal. So far, San Francisco's defense and Dorsett pretty good, and Dorsett's not running with as much aggressiveness as I'd like to see him.
Of course, playing with that broken toe as a result of dropping a mirror on it. It's 2nd and 13 from the San Francisco 35. Roger looking deep again. Going for Tony Hill. No good. Charles Cornelius was there to defend once again.
And there's a flag on the play.
Good play by Cornelius, but let's find out about the official interpretation of the penalty flag. It could be holding and maybe roughing the passer. Let's see. It'll be up to referee Jerry Seaman to give us the official wording as he talks to Jimmy Webb.
When you're a big favorite and you're expected to win, there's a tendency to be impatient. Go for the bomb. Hit a home run right away. Rather than punch it out, get the first downs. That's what Rogers doing right now.
Holding, number 67, offense.
That would be Pat Donovan, the 5-year man out of Stanford. So he knows this area, and he had a pretty good grip, I believe, on Jimmy Webb, number 74. So the holding penalty sends the ball back to the San Francisco 45, where it is 2nd and 23. Tony Hill is right. Drew Pearson is left. Dupree is on the left side, and it's still Dorsett and Laidlaw. Staubach to Dupree, and Tim Gray will knock him out of bounds. But the big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, and what a horse he has been. He caught 9 touchdown passes for Dallas last year.
Now, this is the type of passing game that will be effective against the 49ers. Intermediate passes. We call that a drag pattern by the tight end. The flanker cleared out. Gerard Williams had to go deep with him.
And now Tom Landry has a big call, 3rd and 11 from the San Francisco 32. Tony Hill is right. Pearson left. Dupree is shaken into the slot, and Preston Pearson is on a wing as they go out of the shotgun. Staubach down the right side. All alone is Tony Hill, and he runs out of bounds. He tries to avoid Johnson.
Well,
big play, 1st and goal.
This is what we predicted that they could do to the 49ers defense. Very little pressure. A blow in coverage. The defense wasn't played properly, front and back.
And, of course,
Wide
Tony
open.
Hill is from Stanford, and what is particularly galling, when he was at Stanford, he broke all of Gene Washington's passing records, and now he comes back with Dallas to give the Bay Area a bad time. Tony Hill, 3-year man, is a 3rd-round draft choice in '77. 1st and goal on the 5 for the Pokes, 3-0 San Francisco. Dorsett trying to get outside. Can't quite do it. And you have to give Eric Johnson, number 24, a pretty good chance of slowing it up as he came up from his corner spot. He made him, there's 24, fighting off the block.
Pretty good. He got across. That's what you have to do. Eric Johnson got across the line of scrimmage, penetrated, forced them deep. They're in their goal line defense. They took out 2 defensive backs. They're in what they call a jumbo defense.
He actually lost a yard thanks to Johnson's play. He's out of Washington State.
Benny, they're vulnerable to the pass right here.
2nd and goal from the 6. Straight ahead, trying to pick up the tough yardage. That'll bring the ball back to the 5. Reuben Vaughn was able to make the tackle. He had a bad week last week on the pass rush, but he was able to meet his man Laidlaw head on. Roger Staubach, to give you an idea, last week passed for 269 yards. What makes it interesting, he has passed for over 200 yards in a game 46 times. Only Jim Hart leads him amongst the active quarterbacks. Hart has done it 59 times. So 3rd and goal from the 5. Laidlaw is open, but they go in the middle, no good. And down is Gray and Dupree. He had Dupree open, and he fell down.
I think they collided. 49ers dog made Staubach hurry himself. Earlier, Dupree collided with the defensive back, and that threw him off balance.
And Laidlaw had peeled off to the left, and he was all alone, but the primary receiver was Dupree. And down he went. So it's 4th and goal from the 5. Septien will get a hold by Glenn Carano, and he'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line. So it's a 23-yard field goal for Septien. He kicked 3 last week. It's up. It is good. And with 34 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter, it's somewhat surprising. San Francisco 3 and Dallas 3. So it's 3-3 with 34 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. And a reminder, the finals U.S. Open tennis immediately after football. Everett Lloyd versus Austin, and McEnroe and Gerolaitis. Tennis coming up after the football game. Rafael Septien ready to kick off in a 3-3 tie. And he'll kick it to James Owens, and the world-class hurdler is off to the races to the 25 and belted there. Aaron Mitchell made a good play to bring him down. Or with his speed, he'd have picked up a ton. There's a flag on the play.
You know, Benny, one thing with the new rule that you can't block below the waist, you get a lot of people standing up on these returns, all standing up, afraid to throw a block because it'll be clipping, you see. And here we got a clip. Too many penalties on the kicking game because of that rule change.
George, it looks like the rule book is going to play an even bigger part in the 1979 season than ever before.
Well, I hate to see the officials having to call so many penalties and taking over the game and prolonging the game. It's really hurt the return game, the punt returns and kickoff returns.
Personal foul, clipping, number 58, receiving team.
So San Francisco will be moved back to its own 13-yard line. Gordy Saraceno was guilty of the clip. He's a linebacker in there on special teams duty. First man juggling is Mike Hogan, but he held on to the ball and got out to the 16-yard line. Hogan didn't have too good a grip.
Well, it looks like the 49ers, when they want to run the ball so far, they're using the I formation, whether they line up in it or get into it by motion or shifting.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 on the San Francisco 16. Mike Hogan picked up by San Francisco, and he's going to be a workhorse. And the first quarter has run its course, and it's a battle of field goals at the end of the first quarter. Dallas 3, San Francisco 3. Tom Landry, the 5th winningest coach in the history of the NFL. Only the memorable names Hallis, Lambeau, Brown are ahead of him. Then Shula. So it is 2nd and 7 on the 16 for San Francisco. 3-3 start of the second quarter. In motion is O.J. He's got Randy Cross blocking for him, and he is pushed out of bounds at the last minute by Benny Barnes. George Allen, what's a capsule comment on the first quarter?
Well, Benny, the 49ers have outplayed Dallas to date, and yet the score is only 3-3 because of their mistakes.
And the biggest mistake would be the roughing the kicker penalty charge to Eddie Lewis when it appeared as if they were going to move.
No chance to block the ball. Stupid football. You can't win playing that type of football.
Meanwhile, Dallas has had its own share of problems with a clipping penalty, a holding penalty, personal foul. So it's 3-3, just the start of the second quarter. And in a minute, Jerry Seaman will explain the confab. There was a marker down at the 20-yard line. And it would appear to be the first to spot the ball, and then again San Francisco.
I'd like to say hello to Charlie Waters while we get the chance. Speedy recovery. He's the type of safety I always like to have in my football team. Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters, all pro football players.
Offside, number 50, defense, decline. Personal foul, clipping, number 85, accepted.
So the big penalty, first against D.D. Lewis, was declined, but then the other penalty was against Paul Seal. There's no penalty. No, indeed. If you tune into CBS tonight, anything but. It's pure enjoyment. 60 minutes, all in the family, one day at a time. 2nd and 7. DeBerg on a draw to Mike Hogan. And he is dragged down at the 10-yard line. Martin was there to hit him, and Bob Brunig also came over. So it was 2nd and 13. And they'll move it out to the 10-yard line on 3rd down. And Dallas, Steve DeBerg with a big call.
Dallas coming in with their nickel personnel, 5 defensive backs, nickel defense.
Third down, 13 to go. The ball on the 10-yard line of San Francisco. Hogan and O.J. Hogan in motion. And O.J. on a draw. And gets across the 15-yard line. When they send Hogan in motion, usually Hegman, the linebacker, picks him up, and that's where they go.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of yardage to try to pick up on a draw, 3rd and 13. You're better off to throw the ball there.
Even on your own 10-yard line?
I think so. Throw a safe pass.
So it'll be 4th and 13 for San Francisco. And it'll be a clutch punt coming up for young Dan Melville, the rookie out of California.
Let's see if we can get his hang time in this punt.
So check now, because it is 3rd and 8. The ball is on the 15-yard line as O.J. moved up enough, and he goes wide out to the left, so Hogan is all alone behind Dupree. And that's Freddie Solomon, dragged down at the 23-yard line by Aaron Kyle. It would not appear from up here, however, that they made it. It would look like they missed by less than a yard.
Again, another intermediate crossing pattern by 88 Solomon. Just missed the first down. They had a penalty in there. That's why we lost a down.
Right. So they'll measure, but it would appear that they've missed it. Heartbreakingly so as far as San Francisco. Now, Walsh gambled last week.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to gamble again.
And in comes Francis.
No, he's going to punt.
He's going to punt. Here comes Dan Melville in to kick.
They were thinking about it.
So with 4th down, Dan Melville will try and root it out. And Wade Manning going deep on the Dallas 40-yard line. So it is 4th and less than a yard. George, how do you train a team not to jump offside?
We lost a game to Dallas 14-7. Wysocki was offside twice in a situation like this. You don't move until the ball moves.
So Melville, with plenty of time, arrows one to the 40-yard line. Backing up is Manning at the 35. And Manning is slowed up, and down he goes. The man who slowed him up was Gordy Saraceno, and the hit was made by Francis along with Schumann.
Good
So
punt.
the Cowboys,
Good coverage.
on the end of a good punting coverage, will put it in play on their own 34. We've got 13 minutes and 33 seconds to the half. A lot of threes. It's Dallas 3, San Francisco 3, and the Cowboys will put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 34.
Benny, Dallas is a good first down team. We felt we had to stop them on first down. We had to stop their passing game, their play-action passes, and hold their runs to a minimum of 3.5.
Well, we'll see what they do first down on their own 34. In motion is Drew Pearson. Stumbling is Newhouse, and so Staubach recovered the fumble, and down he goes. So Robert Newhouse having trouble with the handoff. Busted play.
Well, he slipped on the infield. Stumbling resulted in bad timing. They're very fortunate to have the football.
Ball bouncing back to Roger, as you see, and all he could do is get it back to the line of scrimmage. So it is 2nd and 10 on the Pokes 34. Tony Hill is wide left, Pearson wide right. Dupree, the tight end, on the right side. Dorsett, fumble. San Francisco recovers it. Danny Buns, the middle linebacker, recovers the ball and moves it inside the Dallas 30-yard line.
Wow.
Danny Buns, 2 years out of Cal State in Long Beach, on that recovered fumble.
Well, it looked like they're trying to run a fast trap. Nobody touched them.
Except Jimmy Webb, and Webb made the hit that caused the fumble.
Yeah.
In fact, it's not Webb, it is Ted Vincent.
Vincent, 75.
So a big break for San Francisco. They have it now on the Cowboy 28 line. 1st and 10. This is the setback behind DeBerg. DeBerg leading his man Francis, who makes the reception inside the 15-yard line. Phil Francis with Cliff Harris bringing him down.
When you get a break like this, you got to take advantage of it. Not by 3 points, but by 7 points. DeBerg did a good job on that. He read the defense, he saw Francis open and drilled it in there. Francis caught that ball well. You can tell he's a good receiver the way he put the ball away.
He was the #1 pass receiver in the nation last year, even though he hurt his ankle and missed 4 games. In motion is Schumann. Here comes Mike Hogan. Inside a block by Randy Cross, and he got to the 11-yard line. Coming up was Cliff Harris along with Mike Hegman to bring him down, and Larry Cole playing on the left side stacked up things.
Dallas is tough to score on in here. Here comes McAfee in. He's a better blocker than the other tight ends.
It's a big surprise to see McAfee in there at all. Last week, he went off the field on a stretcher, turned up with a bad ankle, but he's in there, and the ball brought to the 19.
Illegal motion, number 84, offense.
If you remember the start of the play, Mike Schumann, a wide receiver, was in motion, and evidently he got too far away from the count and broke towards the line of scrimmage. So that slows things up a little bit. It is 1st and 15, and the ball is spotted on the Dallas 18-yard line. Schumann is wide right, and McAfee, the tight end, on the left side. Here comes O.J., and there goes O.J., stacked up just about at the line of scrimmage, and a good play by number 58, Mike Hegman, 4 years out of Tennessee State.
Yeah, Benny, as we said at the top of the show, they're going to have a lot of difficulty running against this Dallas defense.
Mike Hegman went to school with Cleveland Elam and Too Tall Jones at Tennessee State. You might remember he's the man who stole the ball from Terry Bradshaw in Super Bowl 13, and he's playing for Thomas Henderson today. The running backs are Lenville Elliott and Mike Hogan. It is a 2nd and 16 on the 19-yard line. Over the middle and deflected and through the hands of Lenville Elliott. Cliff Harris. And there's Henderson back in there now, commiserating with Hegman.
Well, they had their prevent defense 4 underneath. Stops that short passing game. That ball was
There's Thomas Henderson.
Very easily could have been intercepted.
And you remember that 68-yard touchdown interception he turned in against the Rams last year in the playoffs. He came close to picking one off now. It is 3rd and 16. From the Dallas 19-yard line, we'll see DeBerg's call. Freddie Solomon wide left. Hogan on a wing, and Schumann is wide right. Lenville Elliott, the only running back. And Hogan with the pass to Elliott, and Thomas Henderson just slings him out of bounds. And slings him out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. He might have gained a yard for all of that.
See, Benny, that pass is all right if you have 3 or 4 yards to go, but when you have 3rd down and long yardage, you're not going to pick up that much yards unless you have a missed tackle.
Well, George, you said on that fumble recovery, this was the time to cash it in, not for a field goal, but for a touchdown, and they couldn't do it.
That's what happened to the 49ers last week. They kicked 3 field goals, got ahead 9-3, 9-7.
The spot will be at the 25-yard line, so it's a 35-yard field goal for Ray Wersching. He's pretty accurate from this, anywhere from the 30 in. He's up and way wide. Out of a hole by Joe Montana. He wasn't even in the county.
Now they didn't get anything out of it.
So San Francisco blows a golden opportunity, and we're still 3-3. Don't forget, we'll be joining the U.S. Open Tennis Championship, which is in progress. In time, we hope to see Everett Lloyd versus Austin McEnroe versus Geralaitis. That'll be coming up immediately after football. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys on their own 20-yard line. So the Cowboy defense stiffened, and now Staubach back at the wheel. Robert Newhouse is in there with Tony Dorsett. In motion is Jay Saldi, and here comes Newhouse. And Newhouse gets it out to short of the 25-yard line. A little surprised to see Newhouse because he has a strained tendon of the ankle.
Yeah, I like Newhouse. We really respected him. He's a hard running back. He doesn't lose yardage very much. He's tough to tackle.
And he's committed only 5 fumbles in 3 years, over 436 carries.
Now, the 49ers went to an even defense. They're really an odd defense. When they go even, they're thinking pass to rush the quarterback.
2nd and 6 on the 24 for Dallas. All tied up 3-3. Staubach pitching back to Dorsett. But they stack him up pretty well as he got out across the 25-yard line. Tony Dungy helping him up. But at the bottom of the pile was Archie Reese. He was the man who stacked up the play.
That toss was just a little bit behind Tony. He had to wait for it. Forced him to lose a step.
So here's the big one, 3rd and 3 for Staubach on his own 27-yard line. Pearson is left. Dupree, the tight end, on the left side. Tony Hill wide right. Staubach going to Drew Pearson. And he takes it away from Gerard Williams and goes out of bounds at the 40. And it'll be a first down for Dallas.
They brought Gerard Williams in here, number 29. They ran him in 240s. His first time was 4.6. His next time was 4.55 on grass. He's been here about a day and a half, and they started him.
How can he play, George? You just joined the team.
It's tough, real tough.
Tough got to be an understatement. So the ball spotted at the 39-yard line, and look at Rogers, 6 for 10 for 100 yards. DeBerg is 7 for 10 for 76 yards. Staubach going to the big man, Billy Joe Dupree, and he finally goes out of bounds after Cornelius hit him at the ankles, but he
so far.
With 9:38 to go to the half, Dallas 3, San Francisco 3. The series stands Dallas 6-4 with 1 tie, and the Cowboys have won 3 straight.
Illegal motion, number 89, offense.
So the tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, guilty of the illegal motion. Dallas has won 5 of the last 6. The last time they met in 77, they played here, and Dallas won 42-35. So it is 1st and 15 on the Dallas 34-yard line. Staubach to Dorsett. And Ted Vincent drags him down from behind as he crosses the 40-yard line.
I like that call. 1st and 15, they lined up what we call a brown set, and they ran a full draw, ran a late.
To give you folks an idea what's going on with the shuffling of San Francisco personnel, Ted Vincent has worn 3 different jerseys. First he was number 66, then he was number 79, then they got rid of Ed Gallagher, number 75, and they gave Vincent that number. And so there he is. Boy, there's a lot of coming and going up here. 2nd and 9 on the Dallas 40. Dorsett going wide. Gets away from Cornelius, and Scott Hilton knocks him out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play.
Another flag. When we get our tabulation on penalties this first half, it's going to be very interesting. That's what Dorsett does well.
Personal foul, a clip is the preliminary signal. So Dorsett trying to go wide. Look at that 22. That brings back memories.
Every time I see that number, I think of Bob Hayes. When we played Dallas, one of our top priorities was put 2 men on Bob Hayes. What a receiver he was. You know, Dorsett bounced outside, and his speed made that. It wasn't the blocking. He just did that all on his own. Sure speed.
By the way, we talked so much about Bob Hayes, and you were looking at Wade Manning, the rookie out of Ohio State. The penalty being called against Dallas. Back to the 25.
Personal foul, illegal crackback, number 88, offense.
So they had Drew Pearson, the wide receiver, and then he came back with the illegal crackback. And look at the penalty.
Look at those penalties.
And we still have 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the rule book is really keeping San Francisco in the ball game. 2nd and 24 from the Cowboy 25. Hill is right, Pearson is left. The running backs are Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach with all kinds of time, and he hits Tony Hill across the 40-yard line to the 42. And Cedric Hartman might as well have been in Oakland as far as the San Francisco pass rush.
They went to a defense that I don't believe in. It's all right in certain situations. A 3-man rush. Roger can eat his lunch. He's got all day to throw the ball.
And he actually ate San Francisco's lunch on that play. So there is Cedric Hartman. He is supposed to be the 1-man pass rush, but coming from the outside, he was a long-distance phone call away from Staubach. 3rd and 8 from the Cowboy 41. Out of the shotgun. Over the middle, and a completion across midfield. That's Willie Harper, and a man at the bottom would be Preston Pearson coming out of the shotgun to handle it. And they just pick up the first down when they need it.
Good. This is a good sound pass. We talked about getting the first down on a stop pattern. Easy to throw, difficult to defense. Threw the ball kind of low. It's difficult to break it up.
1st and 10 on the San Francisco 48-yard line. Staubach is 8 for 12, 128 yards, but it's 3-3 with 7:24 to the half. Both backs flaring out, and the pass is to Newhouse. Scott Hilton has him by a leg and brings him down at the 45-yard line. So Scott Hilton, a rookie who did not play, in fact, he didn't go to college. He played semi-pro football in Pennsylvania. He was the last cut of the Philadelphia Eagles last year. And like so many defensive people, picked up by San Francisco.
He's a big, strong guy, a little bit inactive, has a little trouble covering on passes.
So it is 2nd and 7 on the San Francisco 45-yard line. Play action to Dorsett, and juggled and broken up. Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Tony Dungy had it go off his fingers. Boy, he is gone for a touchdown on the pass intended for Dupree.
49ers are dogging here. The dog puts Tony Dungy in position to intercept that. That could have been a score right in his hands.
It went through Dungy's hands and hit the startled Dupree on the left shoulder. And Dungy knows, you know, he led Pittsburgh with 6 interceptions. He was 2nd in the AFC last year.
Too easy.
That story tells it all.
You can't miss those.
So it is 3rd and 7 from the 45. Boy, they let Dallas off the hook, so they load up the shotgun. No good, intended for Drew Pearson, and Gerard Williams will be penalized for giving him a push.
I think it's a good call. If we can see that again, Gerard had his hands on his back. It was a good call. The official was right on the ball there.
Yeah, it looked like he gave him a shove.
See,
right there.
you see that?
Kind of blurred.
You can't have contact until he gets that ball. It's a very close call. You could call it one way or the other, but the official did the right thing.
Pass interference, number 29, defense.
So Gerard Williams, who just joined the ball club 2 days ago and is playing in there on the right side, is guilty of the infraction. And it is 1st and 10, the ball on the San Francisco 30. 6:27 to go to the half, all locked up 3-3. Hill is left, Drew Pearson wide right. Then you have Dorsett and Newhouse out of the eye, but now they shift. Staubach on a quick to Dupree, and he can't hold it. He got his left hand on it, but that's all.
Benny, that pattern, that wide drag, that tight end in the flat or down 12 or 14 is open all day. They're not covering that. And the other thing that Rodgers doing that's very smart is they're throwing against that odd man front, which does not have a good pass rush.
Six minutes, 23 seconds to the half. It is 2nd and 10 on the 30-yard line. Staubach is 9 for 15, 131 yards. Pitching back to Dorsett, and Dorsett is off to the races on a gamble. They had a safety blitz. Tim Gray was coming in, and when Gray wasn't able to get him, the door was open on that side.
Another smart call. They lined up in the eye and ran the ball. 49ers were expecting pass. They were dogging. Almost broke it for big yardage. They've got the 49ers on defense.
3rd and 4. The ball on the San Francisco 24, and Tampa Bay revitalized.
Came back.
Leading Baltimore 26-23. 3rd and 4 on the 24 for Staubach. Staubach on a turn by Hill, and he made the reception. San Francisco feeling he was out of bounds, but he made the catch. Take a look up front what's going on now as you see Jimmy Webb tangling with center John Fitzgerald. And Staubach getting time. And there might be a penalty on the call, a holding penalty against Dallas.
You know, we talked at the top of the show that would be a passing ball game, and this is what has developed. Very little running to date.
Holding, number 33, offense.
So the penalty against Tony Dorsett. So Bill Walsh gets an 11th hour reprieve. The ball is spotted back on the San Francisco 34-yard line. It is 3rd and 14. On the San Francisco 34. Drew Pearson left, Tony Hill right. Staubach out of the shotgun. That means Preston Pearson is in there. Preston staying in to block. And Staubach going to Dorsett. And Dorsett is slung down by Willie Harper. Willie Harper making a big play to tie him up.
Right. Well, again, Roger has all day to throw. Look at 3-man rush. You got 5 on 3. Look at 2 on 1 over there. He just had so much time he dumped it off to the short man, to Dorsett.
You know, we should put a spotlight for the moment on number 68 of Dallas, Herbert Scott, because Scotty threw a good block to give Staubach a little more time, and what a blocker he is.
Let's see the snap. Let's see the snap and the hold on this play.
The hold will be at the 41-yard line by Carano. Septien's kick is going to be barely good, but good enough. Rafael Septien kicks one 51 yards, and Dallas leads 6-3. Que hombre. Rafael Septien, who stands 5'9" and 171, has just kicked a 51-yard field goal, his second field goal of the day and the longest of his career. Now in kicking off, Glenville Elliott will let it go out of bounds, so of course he'll be penalized 5 and he'll kick from the 30. We should mention something about Septien. He replaced Efren Herrera, and he turned in to be the number 2 scorer in the NFC. His longest field goal had been 48 yards against Baltimore, but 51 today. 3 times in his career, he's kicked 3 field goals against Washington, Miami, and St. Louis, and he has 2 so far today.
When I was with the Rams, unlike many kickers, Rafael is a good athlete. He takes care of himself. He works out with the weights. He stretches. He's a very good athlete, and he's strong. And he's gradually developing into a longer kicker. He wasn't a real long-range kicker when he was with the Rams, and that's one of the reasons why Frank Corral made the ball club over Rafael. But he's developed into a tremendous kicker, and the Cowboys were very smart to pick him up.
Every time you see Rafael Septien, you know Ben Agajanian is not too far behind. Well, he'll be teeing it up from the 30 now. This time he'll knuckle one down the middle, and is picked up by Phil Francis. He's to the 35, and the running back is across the 40 to the 42-yard line. So they kicked it to a man who's accustomed to handling the ball, and San Francisco in good field position will start 1st and 10 on their own 42. What about that kick, George?
Well, that was a poor kick. He kicked a line drive to the front man, and now this gives the 49ers field position. I think they're going to have to throw the ball, do the things they do well, the short passing game, intermediate game, and get down there and get on the board.
Nothing like telling the world how good he is and then have him stub one. 1st and 10. They'll spot it on the San Francisco 43, and O.J. is eaten up. D.D. Lewis came up to hammer him, and he never had a chance. You talk about being naked unto the world. He never got started.
The way D.D. Lewis came across in that, it was almost like a dog.
A player hurt, and it will be Mike Hogan, and they can certainly ill afford to lose Hogan for any amount of time. Hogan down with a knee, evidently, at the 42-yard line. So Mike Hogan, formerly with the Eagles, and injured on the play. Wilbur Jackson of San Francisco has a pinched nerve in his neck. Paul Hofer has a hamstring.
Yeah.
So Bill Walsh a little short on talent as he talks to Paul Seal. 4:17 to the half, 6-3 Dallas. A reminder, stuntman Stan Barrett will attempt to break the sound barrier in his rocket-powered vehicle. It'll be aired on tape. That'll be Project SOS, The Speed of Sound, next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, Wilbur Jackson, with a pinched nerve in his neck, is in there for the hobbled Mike Hogan. Jackson, a good blocking back, so we'll see if he can toss one for O.J. 2nd and 15 from the 38, and DeBerg going to the air. And it's to Wilbur Jackson coming out of the backfield, and he runs for the first down.
All right, the Cowboys were in a 34 defense, 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. This is a underneath pattern to Wilbur Jackson. Picked up a first down.
He just ran over Cliff Harris, and that's pretty high-priced area to do that.
Randy White, no better football player in the Cowboys than this guy. Every week he plays a good ball game. Does everything. Look at him. Look at the strength he has. Runs right over over Fornhorst, number 71.
So that extra burst by Wilbur Jackson picked up the first down as San Francisco moves the ball into Dallas territory in a battle of field goals. Surprisingly enough, it is Dallas 6, San Francisco 3, and if you joined us late, the rule book has slowed up the Cowboys considerably, over 60 yards in penalties. DeBerg 8 for 11 and 90 yards. He had a pretty good day last week against Minnesota. 1st and 10 on the 47 of Dallas. O.J. trying to get outside. He got a good block from John Ayers, number 68. And John Ayers went to West Texas, and he's the man who made the play go.
Well, here's the Cowboys' famous flex defense. They pitched the ball to O.J. He got good blocking, cut back, broke a tackle.
John Ayers threw that key block on Aaron Kyle, and that opened up the avenue for O.J. So it is 2nd and 3. The ball just shy of the Dallas 40-yard line. Wilbur Jackson fighting his way in the marketplace down there. Be close for a first down.
What the 49ers are doing, they're making a lot of yardage from the 20 to the 20. They have trouble when they get down into scoring territory to put any points on the board.
George, Tom Landry does not communicate upstairs. Is he an island unto himself down there?
No, he has communication, but on that sheet, he has all the situations and the plays he'd like to call. First choice, second choice, third choice.
O.J. has rushed, as you see, 8 times for 26 yards. 3rd and 1 from the Cowboy 38. O.J. on a play-action fake. And DeBerg deep. He's got Solomon. Solomon inside the 5-yard line. Brought down by Benny Barnes. And the play-action fake to O.J. did it.
Well, now this is an excellent call. They faked the run from the eye. Solomon lined up in a wing. He got behind the secondary. The secondary was fooled by the fake. Almost scored.
A 2-minute warning, and Candlestick on a little while. Dallas 6, San Francisco 3, and on the move. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5 when we come back. It is 1st and goal for San Francisco on the Dallas 5, thanks to that big pass to Freddie Solomon.
Then for the 49ers to get back in this ball game, they got to score a touchdown.
DeBerg has O.J. Simpson and Wilbur Jackson behind DeBerg. In motion is Schumann. And it'll be Jackson, and he is belted.
2 tight ends. I don't know whether they can run it in. I think they're going to have to throw to get it in.
By the way, in seeing Wilbur Jackson handle the ball, Mike Hogan suffered a dislocated left shoulder, and they do not expect him back.
That's a tough blow. He's been doing a good job for him.
So it will be 2nd and goal from the 6 as Jackson lost a yard. Six to 3 Dallas. We have 1:23 to go to the half. In motion is Brewer. Play action fake to O.J. Pass to Brewer. And he gets back to the 5-yard line. So much ado about nothing. Randy Hughes bringing him down.
No chance on it. It's a play action. hitting the first man in the flat. Dallas played it perfectly.
So it was 1st and goal on the 5, 2nd and goal on the 6. Now it's 3rd and goal on the 5, and San Francisco taking a timeout. There are plenty of timeouts left. They will have 2 after this one. A minute and 5 seconds. And, Coach, what are they studying now?
Well, you have 2 or 3 options you've been working on all week against the defense that you anticipate. They have to throw the football. There's no sense in going play action. It's 3rd and 5. You aren't going to fool anybody. I would think the play where DeBerg is rolling out, stronger, weak, left or right, to get away from the rush.
An interesting note, Steve DeBerg was the 16th quarterback chosen in the '77 draft and was subsequently cut by the Dallas Cowboys. He was the last Cowboy cut. And now here he is with San Francisco trying to knock off Dallas. It is 3rd and goal from the 5. We have a minute and 5 seconds to the half. 6-3 in favor of Dallas, and that's how it looks if you're down there with the officials checking in on the goal line.
A delayed pattern is pretty effective in here, Vinny, where the tight end blocks. They have a tendency to lose them in the backwash.
Jackson and O.J., and they have McAfee on the right side and Seal on the left with the 2 tight ends. O.J. short of the goal line. And you can see McAfee showing that it's about 1.5 feet from the goal line. Harvey Martin and the crowd is chanting, "Go for the touchdown." What about it, George?
Well, they ought to take time out, and they're wasting a lot of time right here.
There's 40 seconds left to the half.
He doesn't know what to do. He's looking over here.
It is 4th and goal with 36 seconds, 35, and now Walsh is saying call time. And with 32 seconds to the half, San Francisco calls time. They have 1 more remaining.
What I like to do in that situation is get to 3 points, Vinny. However, if they go for a touchdown, nothing wrong with it. They're having trouble scoring. It gives your offensive platoon a little confidence.
There is always next week. And here they are in regional games: Detroit and the Jets, Philadelphia and New Orleans, Tampa Bay and Green Bay, and San Francisco and the Rams. And the doubleheader national game, Chicago versus Dallas. Consult your local listings for the games and times in your area. Some cities will only see a single game due to the NFL blackout policy. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen. With 32 seconds to go to the half, it is 6-3 Dallas. The difference, a 51-yard field goal by Rafael Septien, the longest of his career. But now, with 32 seconds to the half, here's the play, and they're going for it. 4th and goal. It's O.J. He's in there.
Good call.
O.J. Simpson, who has not carried the ball since November 5th of last year against Atlanta. He missed the final 6 of 78. He did not carry the ball once during the preseason, and he brings it over for a touchdown behind the blocking of Ron Singleton and John Ayers.
High formation. He ran pretty good there. Threw himself in the air over the top. That's tough to stop.
And it is now 9-6 San Francisco, and Ray Wersching trying to make it 10. Montana holding. The spot, the kick, it's good. And with 29 seconds to the half, this fired-up crowd has seemed to have ignited the spirit of the 49ers. And we'll take another look at poetry in motion by the name of O.J. Simpson, the 2nd greatest running back behind Jim Brown. And here he goes.
See him lunge right there? He had a pretty good haul. When they lined up in an eye, I knew right away they're going to run the football. Give the ball to your best back and let him go over the top.
So no matter what happens today here in Candlestick, the crowd estimated at about 58,000. They got the thrill that they were almost afraid to hope for. They not only saw O.J. Simpson play, they saw him score on a 4th and goal from inside the 1. But you still get the feeling, Coach, that Dallas can just go to the whip and make it smooth.
I think they can go down the field throwing the football. I think they can throw short and they can throw long.
Of course, they only have 29 seconds to the half. The deep men are Ron Springs and Wade Manning. Do you think he'll kick it deep, or do you think he'll kick a knuckleball?
He should squib it down there so they can't return it.
Well, we'll see what Ray Wersching does. He's going to roll it, and it is going to be picked up by Huther, a linebacker, and Huther gets it across the 40-yard line, and down he goes. That would be Bruce Huther out of New Hampshire, and according to the clock, 23 seconds to the half. All right, is Staubach going to gamble and go for the touchdown?
I'd go with a shotgun and go deep. You got time for a field goal here, even a touchdown. They got good field position, 43-yard line.
By the way, Bruce Huther is another man who knows the territory. He did some graduate work at the University of California. So 1st and 10 from the 43 of Dallas, and out of the Staubach, out of the shotgun. 23 seconds to the half. Preston Pearson staying in to block. Staubach deep for Tony Hill. No good. Cornelius over there with Johnson breaking it up as Tony Hill was sandwiched.
Let's watch Tony Hill's pass pattern. He avoids the front man, bends it out. They're trying to get a sideline pattern and stop the clock. Good coverage, front and back, no chance.
Some of the fellas kind of coming home. Tony Hill went to Stanford. Pat Donovan went to Stanford. Tight end Doug Cosby went to Santa Clara. They're all up front. In the backfield, Scott Laylord went to Stanford. So to 2nd and 10 from the 43. 18 seconds to the half. Staubach setting up a screen to Preston Pearson. And Cornelius upended him. Time running away with 7 seconds to the half and counting. And timeout with 6 seconds left.
You know, Vinny, I was just going to say a screen is a good call here. And that's what Roger did. Good, real good call. They had a 4-man rush. They were coming in pretty good.
So Tom Landry, with 6 seconds to the half, and San Francisco leading Dallas. Timeouts remaining. Dallas has 2 left, and San Francisco 1. Remember, San Francisco burned up its 2nd before Bill Walsh decided to go 4th and goal from the 1, and O.J. punched it over.
Here's what they're thinking. Do we go for the bomb, or do we try for a sideline and get close enough for a field goal? I'd go for the bomb. Maybe get an interference call, get a batted ball, tip ball.
When we have playback in, it'll be 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 45-yard line. Some numbers. Staubach is 11 for 18 and 143 yards. The biggest receiver as far as yardage, Tony Hill, has caught 2 for 45 yards. The running game has not done much. Dorsett 10 carries for only 16 yards. Newhouse 2 carries for 4. Laidlaw 3 carries for 7.
Here's where your defense has to be deep. You can't let them get behind you. Get an easy score. Line up
10 from the San Francisco 45. 6 seconds left to the half. Staubach going to crank it up. And he got his man, but it's too late. Drew Pearson asking for time, but it's history. It was too late. And so it is somewhat of a shock as it reverberates around the league, even if it's only for a few minutes. San Francisco, the worst team in football last year, leading Dallas 10-6 at the halftime.
We got a heck of a game, Vinny. I think it's going to be a good second half also.
There was a quote in the paper here which would make people around the league double up with laughter. The quote was from Tom Landry, and it was, quote, "This game is pretty much of a toss-up." And I tell you what, there are a lot of people who couldn't take that statement no way. But look at the halftime numbers.
He was referring to the toss of the coin.
San Francisco leading Dallas 10-6.
We're going to go back to start the second half. The remote will tell you how Tracy makes out in this second set. And then, of course, you will see Gary Ulitis and McEnroe for the men's final. But right now, let's send you back to Candlestick in San Francisco.
Well, with San Francisco leading Dallas 10-6, you would say that Dallas was sluggish, perhaps taking the game lightly. Now it becomes a question of, can San Francisco hold on?
I think Dallas is fighting for their lives right now. The 49ers are playing good football. If the 49ers can mount a pass rush and not get hurt too much dogging, because with 3 and 4 men, they're not getting enough rush. If they can mount a pass rush, I think they can go right down to the wire in this ball game.
How can you mount a pass rush? In other words, you look at San Francisco, and it's non-existent up to the point.
Roger has all day to throw.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes, Vinny, it's a disadvantage if you have too much time to throw. If Roger hits the intermediate passes, 16, 14-yard passes, I think he can go down the field.
And, of course, the big story right now, for the first time since October 22nd of 1978 against Atlanta, O.J. Simpson scored a touchdown. We'll wait for the second half.
Quarterbacks go to him for 6 points. That should work. Hi, I'm Drew Pearson of the Dallas Cowboys. And I can tell teenagers a lot of things about football on a chalkboard. But you don't really learn the game until you're on the field with the ball in your hands, making your own decisions. That's what growing up is all about, too. Learning to make decisions about everything in your life. But some things are more important than others. If you're a teenager, you'll be making a decision soon on whether or not you want to drink. We have an alcohol abuse problem among many young people today, and the consequences are a lot more serious than fumbling a football. Make the wrong decision about drinking, and you may find yourself out of the game. There's a booklet called Winning Decisions that can help every teenager make the right decision. To get your free copy, write Education Commission of the States, Box 687, Denver, Colorado, 80201. That's ECS, Box 687, Denver. Be a winner.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Friends, rather than overwhelm you with a lot of somewhat meaningless statistics, we thought we would put the spotlight on what we felt were big plays in the first half. And, George, here are a couple of them.
Well, the first thing, number 22, Eddie Lewis, to run into the punter, Danny White, on 4th and 9 was a stupid play. You just can't make a play like that at any level of competition.
And it gave Dallas possession again, and Raphael Septien finally cashed it in with a field goal to get the game even. Then in the second quarter, Ted Vincent, a defensive lineman formerly with Cincinnati, laid a good hit into Tony Dorsett, who fumbled, and middle linebacker Dan Buns recovered Dorsett's fumble. That was a big play.
And in the second quarter, Gerard Williams was called for pushing Preston Pearson on 3rd and 7, gave him a first down.
And that led to the longest field goal of Raphael Septien's career, a 51-yarder to give Dallas a 6-3 lead. And then here was the big one, Steve DeBerg on a play-action fake to O.J. Simpson, and Dallas really went for it, and he hit Solomon.
And the reason that was so effective was in short yardage, and Solomon was lined up as a wing, and he got behind the secondary. So those were the big plays the first half.
And now we go to the second half, and Ray Wersching kicking off to Ron Springs and Wade Manning. Wersching earlier in the game had a 29-yard field goal, and he kicked the point after O.J. punched over his first touchdown since October of 1978. The kick going down the right side. Ron Springs will meet it at the 10, to the 25, to the 30. Spun and still on his feet and got to the 40-yard line. He was hit by Saraceno and then Cornelius, but he wouldn't quit. And finally, Bobby Farrell had to take him down.
I'm going to tell the Dallas fans one thing right now. This Ron Springs is going to improve their return team, their kickoff return team. He's going to make a lot of big plays. I like the way he accelerates. He's quick. He's got some size. He's going to break some long runs, Vinny.
First and 10 from the Dallas 40-yard line. Drew Pearson moving to the left side. The running backs Dorsett and Newhouse. And there's Jay Saldy going to the right side. And Dorsett with Scott and Rafferty out in front of him, but he's dragged down by Danny Buns. And there'll be a flag on the play. A lot of movement by Dallas, and I would guess it was Jay Saldy who was the last man in motion guilty of the infraction. Pretty good blocking up front for Dorsett, but the Cowboys will be pushed back to the 35.
Motion, number 87, offense.
So that's Jay Saldy, who was the last man moving, and he made his turn too soon. So it's first and 15 from the Dallas 35. Pearson is wide left and Hill right. Here comes Dorsett. And Dorsett will be wrestled down by 3 Niners. Ted Vincent, along with Scott Hilton and Dan Bunns, who made the first hit.
They've been in that formation twice and ran the same play twice. It's what we call a full draw to Dorsett.
Well, that'll make it 2nd and 10 on the Dallas 40. Dallas somewhat shocked. First, San Francisco took a lead of 3-0. Then it was tied. Then Dallas took a 6-3 lead, only to have San Francisco lead 10-6 at halftime. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Robert Newhouse. Willie Harper, number 59, did a very good job of stacking up the play. Webb was then able to move over, but Harper was the guy who jammed it. He was out last year with a knee injury. All-American out of Nebraska.
Let's watch number 26, Preston Pearson. The Cowboys have their special pass offense personnel in. We always had trouble with defense in this guy. He can beat most linebackers. I always like to put a defensive back on him, not a linebacker.
He's the dean of the NFL running back, so he's worth looking at. 3rd and 7 from the 43 of Dallas. Out of the shotgun. And under a rush. And there is that pass rush, George, that you were talking about. Cedric Hardman was the first man, and then Dwayne Board. They picked him up from Pittsburgh. And Hardman and Board coming off delighted about things.
First rush of the afternoon. If they get that, they're going to be right in the ball game to the wire and have a chance to win.
Dwayne Board was a 5th-round draft choice this year by Pittsburgh. And look at Tom Landry. Anything but plastic. He looked a little angry over there.
Well,
Landry.
I don't blame him, because that first series on offense, the second half, when you're behind, you want to fire it up, get them going.
4th and 16 from the 33. Danny White.
Nice punt.
And he's going to hang it over to the 25-yard line. Dungy to the 30 and to the 35. Stepped out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So San Francisco, thanks to that sack, will take over 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line, and they're leading as Landry talks to Ernie Stautner.
You know, Vinny, we said at the top of the show, you asked me, did the 49ers have a chance? Dallas offensively showed no emotion, showed no spark. Now the defense, the Dallas defense, has to fire it up, turn the ball over, give them field position.
In his 20th year, the 5th winningest coach in football, Tom Landry. 1st and 10, they'll spot it at the 36. In motion goes O.J., but it's Wilbur Jackson out across the 40-yard line, falling to the 43. Aaron Kyle had to come up and hit him, and then Bob Brunig came over to give him a little help. And Tom Landry, for the first time, not just standing by himself, he's on the phone with Mike Ditka in front of him.
That's Jim Myers next to him. What they're trying to find out is what was the breakdown on their pass protection.
So it is 2nd and 4 on the San Francisco 43. Solomon is left, Seal the tight end on the right side. Schumann is wide right. And it's Wilbur Jackson, but he just ran into a sea of blue jerseys, and that's the end of that.
You know, one thing the 49ers wide receivers are doing, we did their game last week, they're throwing downfield. They're attempting to block, which is something you don't see much in those wideouts.
Thomas Henderson is coming into a linebacking position, and we mentioned earlier that Mike Hegman started over him, and we gather that Hegman took over for Henderson in the starting role for a disciplinary reason, but of course Thomas is back in there now. 3rd and 3 from the 44 for San Francisco, with Schumann in a slot left. DeBerg is going to be unloaded, and DeBerg was hit by Dennis Thurman charging in. Then Henderson, but Thurman was the man who drilled him, number 32. Dennis went to school at USC. So Landry had to like that blitz.
We call that a nickel dog. You come in with more people than they can pick up. He was lucky to even get the ball off.
So it is 4th and 4 from the 44. Wade Manning going all alone, and Danny Melville with a 39 average will be punting from about his own 33. Great effort there by Randy White to get through. And it goes flying out. Aaron Mitchell almost blocked it, but Willie Harper was there to pick him up at the last moment. So it is San Francisco 10 and Dallas 6. Dallas will put it in play, 1st and 10 from its own 23. San Francisco leading 10-6. 11 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, it might be a day of upsets. Keynoted in Forest Hills, Tracy Austin defeated Chrissy Everett Lloyd 6-4, 6-3. And remember, actually make it Flushing Meadows, and we'll be going to the U.S. Open tennis immediately after football. That's Robert Newhouse getting it out across the 25-yard line.
You know, we talked about the passing attack of both clubs. In the first half, the Cowboys netted 28 yards rushing, and the 49ers 37. So neither team has done much running the football. And it's going to go right down to that. I think they're going to have to throw to win or to lose.
A 2nd down call for Roger Staubach, with Dallas trailing San Francisco. 2nd and 5. Staubach to Dorsett. Dorsett inside, a good block by Herbert Scott, and he moved it out to the 35-yard line.
Now, Tom Landry's doing a smart thing. He's got 2 tight ends. He's forced them to run the football.
And Bill Walsh, of course, seeing his young 49er ball club out in front. Now the question is, can his defense hold together? Remember, they led as much as 9-0 last week against Minnesota and let it get away. And he has to be thinking about whether the 49ers have come of age in one game. So it's 1st and 10 from the 35. Hill wide right, Pearson wide left. And it's still Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach going to the left side, and Billy Joe appeared to be a little surprised. Willie Harper was there with him, and he looked a little startled. Well, there's another upset as Tampa Bay upset Baltimore 29-26 in overtime. Neil O'Donoghue, a 31-yard field goal to win it. 2 weeks from now, we'll be in Tampa Bay. The Rams will be going against John McKay's crew.
They're tied for first with the Bears now. Both teams 2-0.
So 2nd and 10 on the Dallas 35. Little release to Newhouse, but he overthrew him in trying to get the ball over Willie Harper. Harper is 6'2", and Buns was putting a rush on Pearson. In there now, and there goes Tony Hill to the wide right spot. Staubach out of the shotgun. Chased by Harper, and throws it in. It's out of the hands of Billy Joe Dupree. I don't know whether he was blinded by the sun, but it was right in his hand.
You know what I think? Now Roger gets away from the rush here, and I think Dupree started to run with the ball before he had it. Let's see. See that? He didn't look at it. He started to turn and run before he had the ball.
He's had a tough day so far, has Billy Joe. So it is 4th and 10 from the Dallas 35-yard line. Freddie Solomon and Tony Dungy going deep, and Danny White standing on his own 20 to boot it out of there. 9:30 left in the 3rd. It'll be Tony Dungy, and he will let it roll. Benny Barnes was right on top of him, and Barnes would have really gotten a lick in on the catch.
Benny, that's something you can't do. You can't let the football hit the ground and bounce and lose 15 yards. You got to signal for a fair catch.
With 9 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, the San Francisco 49ers surprising Dallas and leading them 10-6. The lack of the fair catch by Tony Dungy has just cost San Francisco about 15 yards on the roll of the ball. They'll put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 13. O.J. Simpson and Wilbur Jackson, the running backs. DeBerg wanted to throw to Simpson, who fell down, and he got back up only to be drilled by D.D. Lewis. So O.J. fell down, and then when he got up again,
Wow.
D.D. Lewis sent him back down.
See, the Dallas defense is going to... He's going to turn this game around, I would think. They're playing good ball. The offense hasn't done a thing the second half. They're going to give the offense field position if they continue to play like this.
Well, that's a loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15. The ball spotted on the San Francisco 8-yard line. Solomon wide left. Schumann wide right. DeBerg has his man. O.J. tripped up by D.D. Lewis at the 15-yard line, and O.J. knows if Lewis hadn't have just gotten him at the ankle, he was gone.
When O.J. gets his timing down in a little better shape, they won't make that play on him. He'll be picking those legs up, and he'll be gone.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 for San Francisco. The ball on the San Francisco 17-yard line. And DeBerg, who has been unsuccessful on 3rd down pass plays, is faced with just that. Looking out to Jackson, and Wilbur Jackson makes the 1st down as he carries the ball out to the 28-yard line. A big play.
Well, this is pretty good execution. Dumping the ball off. Now, the defender didn't have a good angle on him. And I like the way Jackson lowers the boom right here.
Yeah, Cliff Harris felt that one. It was Mike Hegman who did not have the angle and let him get away for the extra yardage. So a 3rd down play is complete to give San Francisco a little more drive and make it 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 28-yard line. 7:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. James Owens goes wide right in motion. DeBerg going deep for his tight end Clark, and it's broken up, and a big play. Benny Barnes just able to stick a finger in the pie because Clark looked like he had steps on him. But look at that play.
Ball throwing just a little short. You're better to overthrow than underthrow. They had both Clark, 87, and 20 going deep on it. He reads either one, takes the guy he thinks is open.
That Dwight Clark was a big man on campus at Clemson.
Up and over. Nice play by Benny Barnes. But I'd rather see him knock the ball down than tip it up.
Barnes is another man who knows the area. He went to Stanford. 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. James Owens is buried at the 30-yard line. Randy Hughes, and actually Randy Cross was just outnumbered because Thurman, Stalls, Brunig, Hughes, they were all there, and only Randy Cross to block.
Now you see Owens lined up in the backfield that time. Previous play, he was a wide receiver.
That's where they really want him to play.
They do. They want to try to get advantage of that speed, take advantage of that speed he has.
So it'll be 3rd and 8. The ball on the San Francisco 30-yard line. 7 minutes and 4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and San Francisco leading 10-6. Freddie Solomon goes wide left, O.J. on a wing, and Schumann on the other wing, and in motion is Wilbur Jackson. DeBerg under a rush, and O.J. looked like he lost the ball as he lowered his head for whatever reason.
DeBerg did a good job there.
And then he's trying to catch it behind his back.
Turn around, catch the ball. They had the nickel blitz.
Mike Hegman was the man who rushed DeBerg, and O.J. as if to say, what are you going to do?
We beat Dallas one year on that. Billy Kilmer hit Mike Thomas on a pass, led to the winning score. It's a real gamble. They got to get the quarterback before he gets the ball off.
So on 4th and 8, Wade Manning is deep on the Dallas 30-yard line. Danny Melville gets his kick, and it's a beauty. Manning is buried after Bob Farrell just missed him, but Farrell tied him up just enough for the other Niners to come in. Watch, you'll see 38 go flying by. That's Bobby Farrell, who's usually 1st down under those punts. Well, we've had an upset in the world of tennis. Tracy Austin upsetting Chris Everett Lloyd. A reminder, as soon as our football game is over, we will join in progress the U.S. Open Tennis Championships, and McEnroe and Gerulaitis will be battling it out for the men. 1st and 10, Dallas on their own 35-yard line. Tony Hill in a slot left inside Drew Pearson. The running backs are Newhouse and Dorsett. Staubach looking and throwing left, and Tony Hill gets a bump, and he was bumped by Gerard Williams at the 44-yard line.
Here's the guy, 88, Pearson. We had to stop him first. We felt we had to double him. He's a fluid receiver. It's hard to knock off. Look at him catch that ball and put it away. He's the guy that Roger likes to go to in a clutch. You've got to stop him in the passing game first.
He was 3 for 57 yards prior to that pass, so he just picked up another 9. So Drew Pearson, as George mentioned, the man on the spot when they need the tough yardage. Very close. He might have made the first down by the time they marked the ball. Let's see. It looked like they were marking it on the 44. Then they put it down right on the 45. So we'll see. Yep, they made it by an inch of leather, and it'll be 1st and 10. Staubach is now 13 for 22 and 173 yards, but he has not been able to get his ball club on the board yet. 2 field goals by Septien. Staubach going over on the right side, and he overthrows Tony Hill. Cornelius right there with him. For those folks who might have tuned in a little late, San Francisco had Ray Wersching kick a 29-yard field goal. Septien came back with a 23-yard field goal to tie it up. Then Septien kicked a 51-yard field goal to give Dallas a 6-3 lead. But O.J. Simpson scored from the 1-yard line. Wersching kicked the point after, and San Francisco is trying to hold on to that 10-6 lead. 5:48 left to go in the third. 2nd and 10 from the 45. In motion is Jay Saldi. Robert Newhouse out across midfield, stymied and dropped by Dungy and also Tim Gray.
Well, Newhouse is a strong inside runner. He does a good job of hitting, keeps driving. One man usually doesn't bring him down, the first man. See him hit and keep going, picks up a couple of more yards. Tough inside runner.
The ball is in San Francisco territory. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Staubach trying to keep his drive going. He started on his own 35. Hardman trying to get in, got back. Tony Dorsett has Scott and Rafferty out in front of him. That's all he needed to pick up a good chunk of yardage before being knocked out of bounds. And boy, that is a nice sight to see a couple of guys pull and really move.
Yeah, really, it's a play off of a sort of a shuffle to the wingback coming around. It lets Dorsett do the thing he does well, run outside and turn on his speed, use his racehorse ability.
So Herbert Scott and Tom Rafferty pulling and letting Dorsett open up. And Dorsett finally knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tim Gray had to come up and give him a shove. And Dallas on a move. 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 35-yard line. Play action fake to Dorsett. Staubach down the middle, and it's got Tony Hill. And Hill is boxed in by Scott Hilton at the ankles and finally dropped.
Well, Rogers doing the things now that he does well and that are effective. A play-action pass. He's got the tight end coming across underneath. Hits Tony Hill on the stop pattern, which is the type of pass that's effective to throw against that defense rather than trying to go all the way deep and get a quick score.
Tony Hill now has caught 4 for 63 yards. As you see, Cleveland leading Kansas City 20-0 in the third. Brian Sipe having a pretty good day. Inches short of a first down.
Vinny, here's an interesting down. 2nd and 1. You can do a lot of things here. You can go for the bomb. You can go play action. You can go for the first down.
Dallas is going to go back in the huddle.
It's a down that allows the offense a lot of options.
You can duck in another score. San Diego and Oakland figured to be high scoring, and San Diego leading 21-10 in the 3rd. The 2nd and inches, really, for Roger Staubach. And it'll be Robert Newhouse. Scott Hilton came up, number 55, not to tackle him, but to hit him and slow him down. Ted Vincent finally dropped him, but he needed only less than a yard, and he got it. So they'll spot it at the 23-yard line.
Well, they did the safe thing, the sure thing, get the first down. They're having trouble moving the football. First things first, get the first down.
3:57 left to go in the 3rd quarter. This drive started on the Dallas 35. Meanwhile, Seattle nosing Miami 10-9 in the 3rd. 1st and 10 from the 23. Dorsett behind Newhouse, and Newhouse, the first man, is stacked up. He was trying to go behind a block from Pat Donovan, but it didn't quite materialize. Cedric Hartman doing a little good job of submarining, and Hilton also came in.
Well, in analyzing the Cowboys right now, it's Newhouse inside and Dorsett outside from the I formation.
So they picked up 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 on the 22 of San Francisco. Drew Pearson wide right, Tony Hill wide left. Staubach getting some pressure. All alone in the end zone is Drew Pearson. So they put a blitz on, and Drew Pearson was out of sight.
Yeah, and it looked like the left corner slipped and fell.
Take another look at it, especially for the Drew Pearson Marching and Chowder Society. Tim Gray was coming in, so was Gerard Williams, and look at Pearson.
It looked like the left corner slipped and fell.
So Tom Landry back to leading.
That's the gamble you take when you go all out. It's a risky call. It's a big play one way or the other, usually.
So now Septien will try to make it Dallas 13 and San Francisco 10. The spot, the kick, it is good. Of course, Septien doesn't miss many. Last year, he kicked 46 out of 47. Dallas leading San Francisco 13-10.
Williams was over on the left side.
The Dallas Cowboys went 65 yards in 8 plays, capped by a 22-yard scoring pass from Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson. Septien put the ribbon on it, and it is 13-10 Dallas with 2:58 left in the 3rd quarter. Septien hitting under and squirting it off to the right out of bounds, so they'll penalize him 5 yards, and he'll kick off from the 30.
That looks like a harmless play, just kick over again, but it really gives the return team a big advantage. Now he's kicking off from the 30. This is where you can break it back.
One problem I wonder about, George, although they are teeing the ball up, but whether he is slipping at all on the baseball part of the infield.
Yes.
That's the second time he's had that kind of a kick. He's actually kicking the ball almost second base on the shortstop side of second, and when he hits the dirt, it might be bothering him.
Let's watch Raphael on this kickoff.
We might also mention, you know, last week, and not to equate St. Louis with San Francisco, but Dallas allowed 237 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Cowboys haven't allowed that much in 9 years. So we'll see, as you mentioned earlier, the only way San Francisco can do it is in the air, but Dallas has been exploited on the ground. Let's watch Septien now as he leaves the grass and he hits the infield, whether it's bothering him. Well, he got his leg into that one pretty well, and it'll be James Owens from the 11 to the 25 and to the 27. Walt Downing out there trying to block for him. And so Owens, who is a threat with his great speed, gives San Francisco reasonable field position, brings it to the 32-yard line, and they'll put it in play 1st and 10. There's Steve DeBerg's numbers. Remember now, He is starting his 13th game for San Francisco, and he's only won one. He is 13 for 19 as he brings them up to the line. 1st and 10 from the 32. Pitch back to O.J. Simpson. Randy Cross is blocking Hegman. And O.J. got out across the 35, and there's a flag. Might have been a late hit. And the late man was Cliff Harris, who is arguing right now with the back judge.
Sometimes that's difficult to stop your momentum. You come up. You don't intend to hit late. Here it is again. Here's O.J. cutting back. He's going down there. There's Cliff. Well, you might call that. I guess he did call it. It's a marginal call. He hit the grass, and then he hit O.J.
So to be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. What days he had at Notre Dame. Joe Montana, the rookie who was a 3rd-round draft choice, who is just waiting. And check me on the count now. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 36.
Did not call a penalty on that.
We saw the flag.
Yeah.
Evidently, they erased the flag. When Cliff Harris was arguing, they picked the flag up, and there was no penalty.
It would have been a fringe call. You know, when 85 comes in, we used to play pass. When Seal came in, he's got good speed to go deep. We'd play pass. When 81 was in there, we'd play run. McAfee. Let's see what they do. Let's watch 85 if we can.
From the 40-yard line, it's 3rd and 3 for San Francisco. DeBerg going over the middle. Freddie Solomon unable to hold on it, and it looked like DeBerg might have thrown it just a little too hard for Solomon to handle it.
So far this half, DeBerg is under pressure. You see that? He was throwing going down. He's had a good rush every play.
So Solomon unable to handle it. And the drive dies a warning on the 40-yard line. So again, Wade Manning goes back, standing on his own 25-yard line. Dan Melville will be kicking from about his 30. Manning will let the ball hit, and it will go out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
Flag on a play.
And there's a flag way back on about the 45-yard line.
That's a first down.
First down automatic on a holding penalty charge against Dallas.
Big break. Big break. Boy, a lot of penalties today, especially against Dallas.
So the 3rd down pass to Solomon was no good, and then the 4th down punt is really a crusher against Dallas. We have 1 minute and 24 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Cowboys are leading San Francisco 13-10. The holding
while the ball is in the air.
Change of possession down. Let's see. They'll bring it out to about the 17-yard line. And Dallas will put it in possession 1st and 10.
Holding, number 25, receiving team, post-possession foul.
So on the change or after possession foul, Aaron Kyle was trying to set up some kind of a block. Dallas had the ball as it was going out of bounds. Kyle was guilty of the infraction. So Dallas still has the ball, but they do lose a few yards and take over 1st and 10 on their own 17. Drew Pearson is wide left. Newhouse and Dorsett. In motion is Jay Saldi. Tony Dorsett with Burton Wallace and Tom Rafferty out in front. Scott Hilton brought him down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah. Well, here's a play. It's a sweep, pulling both guards. Dorsett going wide. He's about ready to break one of these. He's got pretty good blocking there. 87 Salty had a good block. He's just about ready to break one of those loose for a long gainer.
So he picked up 8. Jay Saldy coming out of the ball game. Saldy, 4 years out of South Carolina. He's a captain of the special teams. He broke his right forearm last year. He's a free agent that made Dallas in '76. Okay, 2nd and 2. Dorsett. Good play by Ted Vincent from Wichita State. He fought off the block, slipped it off, and brought his man down. Big play.
What Vincent's going to give the 49ers, number 75 here, is a little more action. He's much more active than 72 Reuben Vaughn. Got rid of the blocker, came in and made the play.
He's bigger than Vaughn as well. He's 6'4", 265, and he's only 23 years old. 3rd-round draft choice last year for Cincinnati, so he might develop into quite a ball player. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Dallas 13, San Francisco 10. We now pause for a word from your local station. There's one of the big numbers, 12 penalties against the Cowboys for 95 yards. And on that last penalty, it was the difference between a change of possession and a post-possession foul, which is why Dallas kept the ball.
The officials had a little trouble making their minds up on that call.
As well as a little earlier, calling a late hit and then wiping it out with Cliff Harris. So it is 3rd and 5 from the Dallas 22. Crosby is in a slot left inside Pearson. Preston Pearson on a wing, and Staubach from the shotgun, and got it away. A flag on the play. Willie Harper was going with Preston Pearson, and that's where apparently the foul was committed.
Well, shotgun formation. Thrown to the guy he wants to go to, number 26, Preston Pearson. Good catch. 2 flags on the play. You know, that 95 yards in penalties is more yardage than any back has made today.
Oh, you bet. The high runners so far, well, you have 48 yards for Tony Dorsett.
Pass interference, number 26, offense.
So Preston Pearson was pushing off Willie Harper, and he is guilty of the infraction.
That's a call that can go either way.
Miami and Seattle, the last time we saw it, Miami leading 12-10 now to update that one in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 16 from the 12. Staubach loading up the shotgun. Roger down the left side. He's got Tony Hill, and Hill is stopped at the 30-yard line by Eric Johnson.
Got.
So a 3rd and 16, and like that, they pick it up.
Oh, from a defensive standpoint, it really gnaws at you when they can pick up that long yardage.
Eric Johnson, the defender.
Right. Good protection. One-on-one. He went to the one-on-one receiver. See, no chance to break it up. By the way, that Miami score, 4 field goals for 12 points.
1st and 10. The ball has moved out to the Dallas 34-yard line. Newhouse and Dorsett are still in there, and here goes Tony. And he's going to be pushed out by Harper and Dungy.
You get the feeling that Dallas can explode at any minute and throw when they want to, and not worry about the rush too much.
Dorsett, bad toe and all. They said he was about ready to play, but not on the artificial surface in St. Louis. The shoe wouldn't work on it. But here at Candlestick, natural grass, he is really working. He has now carried the ball 16 times and picked up 52 yards. 2nd and 6 on the 38. And now Dorsett is on the end of a pass from Staubach, and he gets to the 44, and that is the first down area, so it just depends on whether they spotted it. Would appear that he picked it up. Gerard Williams and Tom Sebring brought him down.
Yeah, Sebring just came in for Willie Harper. Harper went off holding his arm.
And they'll spot it good enough for the first down for Dallas. The big play on this drive, if it continues to be a drive, was that 3rd and 16 pass that was complete.
You know, you can't see what Roger did on that last down, but the 49ers rotated to the left. Strong to their left. He threw to the weak side, to the back on a hook pattern. Good, sound football.
1st and 10 on the Dallas 44-yard line. Pearson left. Saldi, the tight end, on the right side. Saldi in motion left. And a pitch back to Newhouse. He got by a dive by Sebring and runs out of bounds. So Tom Sebring on a dog broke through, but Newhouse able to get around him. Dan Bunz finally running him out of bounds.
I think Willie Harper's their best linebacker. Not having him in there hurts them.
There's a Niner hurt, and it's Jim Webb.
He's their strong side linebacker. Plays the run and the pass very well.
Big Jimmy Webb.
Oh, here he comes.
And here comes Harper. It is 13-10 Dallas with 12:54 left in the game. And for the intermission at halftime, it was Camelot here by the Bay as San Francisco was leading 10-6. Staubach, for the 47th time in his career now, has passed for over 200 yards. Straight ahead to Newhouse, and then he decides to go outside, and Tony Dungy wraps him up just shy of midfield. Well, Dungy's a workhorse, a free agent who made Pittsburgh in '77, the only free agent to make the team.
You know, we haven't had an interception today, have we? Neither team. That's interesting. With the number of passes they've thrown, there haven't been any interceptions. When you mentioned Dungy, I thought of that ball that he had right in his hands.
Yep, and remember last year he led Pittsburgh with a half a dozen. So it is 3rd and 5 from the 49 of Dallas. Hardiman turned him around, but he had gotten rid of the ball, and it is incomplete. Tim Gray on the ground was trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch. He led Kansas City with 6 interceptions after being traded by St. Louis. Tough catch, but he had it, and it went right through his hands.
The 49er defense deserves a lot of credit today. They're staying in there.
And it's a young defense, guilty of a lot of mistakes, and they have pretty well battled back despite them, as Danny White will stand on his own 33 ready to kick. Freddie Solomon and Tony Dungy are the return men for the 49ers. And a fair catch by Freddie Solomon. Dungy is going to pick it up with flags on. Solomon did not want any part, and it looked like Dallas actually brought the ball into the end zone.
The ball should be from where we see on about the 1 or 2 yard line.
Right. There's the fair catch by Solomon.
We got another conference. Well,
he lost his effort as it rolled in. And it was Thomas Henderson was the man involved with the ball, and then Dungy, figuring it might go off, decided he better pick it up. And look at that argument. Well, we mentioned earlier the rule book is going to figure prominently in '79, maybe more so than a while, with so many changes. Not that this is a change of a rule. The officials are front and center once again.
Should come out to the 20. Yeah.
Illegal participation, number 56, kicking team, declined, first down.
So illegal participation by Thomas Henderson. It is so ruled. There's Henderson touching the kick and forcing it into the end zone.
Usually on that type of thing.
We'll be right back. So we have 11 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the ball game. Dallas leading San Francisco 13-10. Miami leading Seattle 12-10 in the fourth, and San Francisco putting it in play from its own 21st and 10. Freddie Solomon wide left. Jackson and Simpson, the running backs, play action, and DeBerg going deep for Solomon. No good. Aaron Kyle was right there battling him for the ball.
Now that's good defense by Aaron Kyle, and this is also a good call by DeBerg. However, the ball is thrown a little bit short. You want your receiver to go get the ball, make him run for the ball. He still should have had it.
Freddie Solomon took a lot of heat here in San Francisco last year. A lot of folks were suggesting that he dropped a lot more passes than he should have, that he was vowing to change things in '79, but it's been a struggle for him. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 20. Intercepted by D.D. Lewis, and D.D. Lewis has it on the pickoff inside the 15-yard line. And there's that interception we were lacking for the day, George.
Yeah, they dogged. D.D. Lewis, 50, is dogging there. They ran him. Here comes 54, Randy White, running him out of the pocket. He's trying to hit number 40, Jackson. He just rifled the ball in low, and D.D. was there. That's a big play for Dallas. The defense, Dallas's defense has turned it around.
So D.D. Lewis with a critical interception gives it 1st and 10 from the 14 for Dallas. Pitch back to Dorsett. He just did get back across the line of scrimmage. It's a question now if the San Francisco defensive unit can somehow regroup.
What you're thinking here defensively is the worst they get out of this is a field goal, because we're still in the ball game, 16 to 10. So you're trying to hold them to a field goal. That's good defense.
And for Bill Walsh, of course, is hoping that somehow he can stop this high-powered Dallas machine that has been on the quiet side all day. Staubach pumping once, then going into the corner to Hill, who is long out of the end zone.
Well, he just threw that away. He was rushed. Threw it away where it was safe, wouldn't be intercepted. Smart play by Roger.
Staubach is 17 for 29, 232 yards, 1 touchdown. Remember when Drew Pearson was all alone?
All of Rogers' plays are called for him. They're all sent in and out with a tight end or a back. He has the option to audibilize, to rub that play off that's called in the huddle and call something else.
So 3rd and 9 yards on the 13. Preston Pearson in at running back with Tony Dorsett. And to Billy Joe Dupree, and the tight end took it away from Tony Dungy, and the big man busted loose for the touchdown.
You know, it looked like he caught the back half of the ball. Roger has good protection, and he drills it right in there. Watch if he catches the back half of the ball.
Dungy going for the ball, missed it, and that left Dupree all alone.
Look at that. He's got those big, long claws, and he made up his mind he was going to go into the end zone.
He had to fight off Willie Harper to go barreling into the end zone. So Billy Joe Dupree, who scored 9 touchdown passes for Dallas last year, picks one up now. And coming through is Ted Vincent. So it is 19 to 10 Dallas. And the critical play, of course, the interception by D.D. Lewis. That set it all up. Here's another look at that pass to Billy Joe.
Good protection. Rifles it in there. Now watch Dupree. He actually caught the back end of the ball. You have to have big, strong hands to do that. Long fingers.
Reinforced on the kickoff.
The Septien trying to make it 20-10. The kick is up, and it is no good. So Septien, who missed only one all last year, misses one today. And the Cowboys leading 19-10. Don't forget Howard Davis putting his perfect 11-0 mark on the line against the Termite. Maurice Termite Watkins on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. San Francisco was penalized 5 yards, which they exact after the point after. So Septien kicked from the 40-yard line. James Owens will handle it on the 3 to the 20 and to about the 24. So San Francisco, with 10 minutes and 28 seconds left in the game, down by 9, and Steve DeBerg carrying a heavy load now, trying to bring the Niners back.
Now here's where the Dallas defense plays pass defense and pass rush. 10-28. They're going to have to throw the ball to get back in the ball game. This is what you like on defense.
Schumann and Solomon go in a slot left. Lenville Elliott is in there with Wilbur Jackson at the running back. DeBerg has Elliott to the 45, to midfield, to the Dallas 45. Lenville Elliott coming out of the backfield. And Hughes and Harris brought him down.
Elliott, last week, had a big game. He's going to help this ball club. He's a good receiver. He can block. He's a good hard runner. He took the position away from 50, D.D. Lewis.
So San Francisco striking quickly for a sizable amount of yardage out to the Dallas 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Plenty of time, 9:47, but they have to move and use it. Second man is O.J., and he's grabbed, and down he goes. And the man who hit him is Bruce Thornton, the rookie out of Illinois. Thornton backs up Larry Cole.
Last week, the 49ers got behind 21-9 and came back and took the lead. Same situation.
Big fella, 6'5", 266, only 21 years old. Bruce Thornton is a saxophonist who declined music scholarships to play football. And he was a second-team academic All-American. He's quite a prospect. 2nd and 9. DeBerg has got his man Schumann inside the 35-yard line. Barnes brought him down.
That's the type of passing game, possession passing. 5-step passing. You don't need a lot of protection for it. It's fairly safe. Get the first down.
So they picked up 12. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 34. And DeBerg now is 15 for 24, 177 yards, but he has thrown the only interception of the day, and it was a killer. O.J. And O.J. moving nicely is inside the 30. He's running well, isn't he, George?
He's looking better. He had a nice hole there. Good blocking there.
John Ayers has been springing him. Ayers, the guard on the left side, pulling and leading his way. Another report on that Miami game. They're leading Seattle 19-10 in the 4th.
Same score we have.
Paid attendance, 56,728. 2nd and 3 from the 27 of Dallas. Jackson, nowhere. D.D. Lewis met him head on. San Diego and Oakland should be a dandy, and San Diego under Don Coryell leading Oakland and Tom Flores 30-10 in the 4th quarter.
There comes Seals in. That usually indicates pass. 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3 from the 27. And, of course, DeBerg, to make this drive go, has to hit and hit quickly. 7 minutes, 16 seconds left in the game. 19-10 Dallas. Solomon is left, Schumann is right. Inside handoff to O.J. And he did not make it. And he was juggling that handoff.
Yes, he was.
You like that play?
Well, I'd rather throw the ball. I think in that down, I would rather throw the ball. Oh, they got to go for it, yeah.
The crowd is saying go. Walsh has already shown he will gamble. Joe Montana and Ray Wersching are coming in, which means Walsh will not gamble.
Well, they're going to kick a field goal. Well, they've got about 2. It's 4th and 2, so that's the best call.
So the line of scrimmage is the 26. The hold will be from the 34. A 44-yard field goal attempt is not Wersching's distance. He has not been effective at all from this far out. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Wersching, who kicked one from 48 last year, kicks one today to make it a little closer now. It's Dallas 19, 49ers 13. 50 yards in 7 plays, capped by a 44-yard field goal by Ray Wersching, his second field goal of the day. And suddenly you have a touchdown separating the two. It is Dallas 19, San Francisco 13, and Wersching kicking off. He hooks it, and it's Ron Springs at the 9. Springs at the 20. And Schumann drags him down as he crosses the 30-yard line. Ron Springs, a little terrier out of Ohio State. Although we use the word little advisedly, he's 6'1" and 200-pounder.
I like the way he runs, Vinny. Oh, he's going to break some, no question about it.
He was on the 440 sprint relay team at Ohio State. And, of course, he's already made headlines with that 30-yard touchdown pass last week to Tony Hill that helped beat St. Louis. Kansas City leading Cleveland 21-20 in the 4th. So some tough ones. 1st and 10 Dallas on the Cowboy 32. Staubach going to the left side, and he has Tony Hill, and he's knocked out by Gerard Williams.
Well, you see Dallas now has to move the ball, keep the clock going. Staubach opened up with a short out in front of the right corner.
That's what we have left in the ball game. In a game that saw San Francisco take a 10-6 lead into halftime, Dallas scored the only points in the 3rd quarter. And now in the 4th quarter, Dallas scored 6 but missed the point after. Then the 49ers had the field goal by Wersching, so it's 19-13 Dallas. A 2nd down call for Staubach, 2nd and 6. And Dorsett gets a good block from Tom Rafferty, and then there are extra 49ers to finally make it. Rafferty making a good block.
Yeah, they threw on 1st down, ran on 2nd down. They're mixing their calls pretty good.
It was 2nd and 6. 3rd and about 3, as you see Bill Walsh talking to his quarterback, Steve DeBerg. They bring in Dwayne Board, and his job is to rush. So we'll see how Staubach can handle number 76. Roger got it off to Big Cosby, and Cosby at 6'6", who played football up here at Santa Clara, the tight end, brought down by Tim Gray. They were thinking about making him a tackle. He's so big at 6'6" and 230.
What the 49ers are doing in an effort to compensate for their lack of pass rush, they're dogging, and Rodgers reading the dogs pretty well and picking up the 1st down with stop-like patterns to all of his receivers.
And with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the ball game, Dallas leading 19-13, strongly in possession. 1st and 10 from the Dallas 49. Hill is wide left, Pearson wide right, Cosby is on the right side. Robert Newhouse and Hilton slowed him down, and Buns finally brought him down.
You notice Newhouse had 2 hands on the ball. He's a sure-handed runner.
By the way, Newhouse needed 40 yards rushing to become the 3rd greatest rusher in Dallas history, passing Walt Garrison. As of right now, he has 28. So he's still got a way to go. Second down for Staubach and 6 from the 47. Newhouse ridden down as he got to the 45-yard line. Willie Harper tried to climb his tree.
Well, that clock keeps running. That's to their advantage.
2:47 left in the game.
Dallas's advantage.
Ball on the San Francisco 44-yard line, which 3rd and 3.
They can't give them another first down if they want to get back in.
Pearson right, Hill left. Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach on to the right side, overthrows Drew Pearson. Pearson, but not quite sure where the ball was. Charles Cornelius was right there with him, and so Danny White will punt on 4th down, and Staubach walks off 20 for 33, 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. Freddie Solomon and Tony Dungy going deep.
Now, Benny, you got to make a decision. Do you go for a block or do you go for a return? I'd go for a block.
2 minutes and 26 seconds left in the game. And Danny White ready to kick. He'll be kicking from his own 45-yard line. Good snap. Danny with plenty of time, and he hangs it down the right side. Fair catch by Freddie Solomon, and it hit on the 16-yard line and kicked out of bounds. So San Francisco with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left and down by 6. Dallas 19, San Francisco 13. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the ball game, and San Francisco will put it in play. 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 16. Solomon is wide left, Schumann wide right. It's Jackson and Simpson, the running back. DeBerg with some time to Solomon, no good.
Well, nah. Solomon had a chance to catch that ball. Dallas is in a 34 defense, which is good to stop these passes to the backs, the short passing game.
Just to complicate matters, when we mention that DeBerg had time, there's a holding penalty against San Francisco. One of the problems for Freddie Solomon is the fact that he came here in a deal that sent Delvin Williams to Miami, so they expected a lot from Solomon, and he's been missing a lot of passes instead, so the Wolves have been on him ever since he came here.
Number 67, offense.
So Ron Singleton, guilty of the holding infraction. He is trying to keep Martin out of there.
Yeah, he's got him by the arm.
So 1st down and 18 yards to go. Just beyond Clark. Dwight Clark, the intended receiver, and Benny Barnes right there with him.
Going back to that previous play, the holding on number 67, it was a longer developing play. DeBerg hasn't had many problems when he's gone to the intermediate and short passing game. He can get the ball off. Now when he goes to the longer type of pass, they have difficulty keeping those defensive linemen out of there.
2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the game. The Cowboys